What's going on? You are tuned into Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and Mr. MWO. And this is our AEW edition for the week of October 18, 2025, where we are going to review WrestleDream, talk all things Dynamite, and even give some highs and lows. Ryan, are you excited? AEW is doing their damn thing. You excited to break down a pretty good pay-per-view and a Dynamite?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good week for AEW. Nobody died, even though they tried to have some attempted murder. And I think it was a good week for them. So let's get into it.
But
man.
did you die? All right. Hangover still going. Let's hit that music.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
That reference, for those of you who don't know, if you don't watch our WWE edition, that was referencing the WWE one. We brought up like 7 hangovers. And I didn't watch it last night. I'm watching it tonight before I go to bed, even though I got to wake up like 6 a.m. for soccer in the morning. Those 8 a.m. games, man. Grass is wet. It's cold. It sucks. But then you got your whole Saturday, dude. And I got UCLA going to beat Indiana tomorrow. So I need to get home in time for that 9 o'clock game. My time. Noon yours. You'll already be eating lunch and I'll still be
getting ready for my nap,
my coffee. I love naps.
I don't take them very often with 2 children, but we also have soccer tomorrow, so we'll final week of the season tomorrow and Sunday, and my daughter is gonna score more goals. That's my goal.
I love it. Well, I coach it. I only got 2 games left, so I'm excited for the season to be done. I coach too much. It takes a lot out of you, especially when, you podcast, TikTok, work full-time, raise kids as a single dad. Gotta get the honeys mixed in there. It's a busy life. Busy life. But let's break this down. Are you ready? Because we are going to do our 2. What's it? You got news? Are you ready? You ready?
No, yeah. Let me get the graphic pulled up.
With attitudes that we are about to do. This is what we are going to grade every single match on that WrestleDream. Will we each get a thumb, and it's either going to be up or down. If it is down, it doesn't mean the match sucked. It just means that it was average or below. So a C or worse. If it's a thumbs up, it's above average, a B or better. So I might give a thumbs down on a match. I don't need you to kill us. Hit us up in the comments. It just meant that the match wasn't above average. There's a few of them on here. Ryan, are you ready? How close were you too? How close were you on the predictions of your stuff?
I was pretty close. I missed a couple of matches. I didn't think they would open with, well, technically they didn't open with Jamie Hayter and against Thekla. They opened with FTR and Jet Speed already in progress because they started off. Yeah.
So what'd you think of that? Honest.
I don't know. I didn't hate it. I know a lot of people gave it a lot of grief and everything. I thought it was a different way to start a show. I give them credit for trying something different. And I think it was their way of saying, we don't really want to open with this women's match of Jamie Hayter and Thekla. So, and I think it was their way of trying to sneak FTR and Jet Speed onto the main show without having to put them on the main card, if that makes sense. So it made people, like, I think from now on, it'll make people want to watch those tailgate brawls, because that's the big thing was, why did I didn't watch the pre-show, so why did I have to tune in for this first match? Like, I want to see the card. I didn't care about the pre-show. Well, now you're probably going to want to start watching the pre-shows because they may do this more regularly. So I didn't hate it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was a unique way to start a pay-per-view.
It's funny that you say that, because everything I read, people were like loving it. It's so like inventive and this and that. I actually am not a fan of it. So I think things are like low grade, and I think AEW needs to stop doing things, which they do in the main event as well, that makes them low grade, where you got to realize like you're better than the bottom denominator. You know what I mean? And I feel like feeding in your free event starting your pay. Like, imagine the UFC starting and they're like, oh, we're in the third round at Conor McGregor and, this and that. And we're fighting it. Like, it's just so like, no, it's supposed to be an event. Like, and I also don't like that you advertise a match for free. You didn't get to finish that match. So now you have to buy. So what if you were like, hey, I don't have to buy WrestleDream. FTR is all I care about. I want to watch them. Oh, shit. Well, my free match is now having to pay for to watch 10% more of it. I don't know. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying it's like the worst idea. I think it's low grade, man. You got to be better than that and bigger than that and feel important. End your shit. Start the new one. But to each its own. At least they're trying, right? They're trying. So
yeah, I think that's what I like. Yeah,
but don't start with Hater and Tekla either, or Thekla. I mean, don't start with that match if you don't
exactly. If you don't want to
start into that match anyway. They should have swapped those matches to begin with. So I don't even know why Hater was on here, but
for sure,
it is what it is. But let's break it down. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thekla loses to Jamie Hater. Jamie Hater gets the win. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down. This match was what it was. I was surprised that this match opened the show. I really think that it should have this didn't really seem to have the build or the interest or the investment for it to be the first show on WrestleDream. But I mean, or technically it was the second match of WrestleDream, but I got to go thumbs down. I mean, I thought both women were fine, but this match was really nothing to write home about.
Yeah, this was a C- for me, which gives it a thumbs down. It just wasn't it. Shouldn't have opened. This is a main event of Collision, and honestly, it probably already has been. I mean, that's how I see this match. I don't see this match as being a pay-per-view quality match. And I've given AEW so much shit over the years about Tony Khan not knowing how to book matches, and people always get down my throat with it, but I'm sorry. You can ask professional wrestlers. Chris Jericho, his freaking self, have come out and said it multiple times. Everyone does. You go first or you go last. Those are your two main events. This isn't the UFC where you start weak, you build your way up, you're hoping people will fill into the stands. By 8 o'clock, you're hoping people are buying that pay-per-view. They come in, they want to watch the last two cards. So you have the main event and the co-main event. This is pro wrestling. That's not how it works, right? If you weren't going to have Hangman and Joe at the end, have them open. You have Hangman Page and Samoa Joe open, and you have Darby and Moxley close. That the WWE has been doing that forever. I guarantee you, if Cody is not closing the Saturday night's main event, he's opening. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to go in the middle or second to. No, you start with a bang, you end with a bang. Everything else in between is filler. You know what I mean? Even if they're title shots. So I don't understand the booking of him, like opening up with this. And then I'm surprised this didn't main event. He does that too sometimes, where like the Dynamite main event is just random people pushed together. It's just Keller had to book it. But nonetheless, sorry, thumbs down. Let's move ahead.
All right.
It's my rant. All right, the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. Jurassic Express defeats the Young Bucks. They win $250,000 each. I'm assuming, right? It's not $500,000 each. I don't know.
No.
Nonetheless, the Young Bucks are poor. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'll go thumbs up. I thought this was a fun match. Very fringe thumbs up. It wasn't special. It wasn't anything to. Again, nothing to write home about. Wasn't the best match I've seen, but not the worst. I think if you had switched these two matches and opened with this match, and I thought that this match, when I put the card together the first time, this was what I had opening the show when we did our predictions. And I think having this match open, I would have given it a huge thumbs up. But having it be second, kind of, they felt like they didn't have a lot of time. I did like the Kenny Omega spot. That was pretty cool. But the match was what it was. So I'm going to go, I'll go thumbs up. Very fringe thumbs up.
I got thumbs up. I love this match. I thought it was fun. I thought they kind of worked Jurassic Express in a little bit with their new look. I'm still not sold on Jack Perry having the evil look, but being the old Jungle Boy. I mean, he was even doing it on the ropes and saying the music is still throwing me off, but they made it work. It wasn't the best tag team match of the night, but it definitely was a good one. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I agree. It should have opened. The crowd is really into Jurassic Express. They have been an AEW, popular tag team for a long time. I think it's really, the Acclaim than them, because FTR was really not loved as much as they could, or maybe FTR's around there. But I think when you think of popularity, it's those three. But yeah, I liked it. And the only thing is we got to move on from the Young Bucks being poor.
Yeah,
I'm over
that
it.
whole
We
angle
discussed
is,
that. We don't need to go into this too much, but we need to stop with that. Let's move on from it. But
and I
nonetheless,
think
fun match, good times.
I also think they
And
need
I
to
like
move
Kenny
on.
Omega. Sorry, coming out. Go
Yeah,
ahead at the
no,
end.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna add was I think we need to move on from them being poor, but I also think we need to move on from them being heels. I think it's time to
Mm-hmm.
slowly transition the Young Bucks into baby faces again, and add some elements to their character a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well said. All right. We hurt people. The Hurt Syndicate win in the, I don't know what number match they are against the Demand. What say you? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'll go thumbs up. I thought this was a fun match.
Mhm.
I thought the right team won. I thought this was the end of the feud, but as we saw on Dynamite, it's continuing for some unknown reason. But but putting that off to the side, if this was like for what it was, this match was fun. I enjoyed it. Everybody looked good. Everybody looked strong. Ricochet's really coming into his own as the leader of the Demand. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin brought it. MVP looks great. So the right team won, and I thought we would move on, but we didn't. But nevertheless, thumbs up. Thumbs
Yeah,
way up for this.
I agree. Thumbs up as well. It was a fun match. They do really work well together. Sometimes when you have that chemistry, these two big guys, MVP and Ricochet, it mixes, it works. I like that MVP didn't get the win at the end, even though he took the L. I like that it was a Lashley spear. I like it all. Good stuff. I agree with you though. Why keep going? How many times can these guys wrestle? But maybe it's because, hey, they have great chemistry. Hey, we need to push Ricochet. You know what I mean? And let's get him popular. And everybody loves the Hurt Syndicate. So why not? If it's working, maybe it won't work with somebody else as well. But nonetheless, it was a good match. It was what it was, and I appreciated it. It was a fun time. I liked a lot of the spots too. Really good stuff. All right. Your favorite wrestler, Mark Briscoe, does not defeat Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher defends his TNT championship in the shocker of the night. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I gotta go thumbs down. This match, I'm sorry. Like I don't know. I haven't gotten into Kyle Fletcher like everybody else has. Mm-hmm. His matches don't do it for me. Every match is the same. Once you've seen one Kyle Fletcher match, you've essentially seen them all. And then Mark Briscoe, I know everything that happened to his brother, and I respect Tony Khan for keeping him around in AEW and pushing him the way that he's done. And I'll give him credit too. He's transitioned into a singles wrestler a lot better than I thought he would. But we gotta. This is the 5th time, as they show on this graphic here, that these two guys have faced, and Kyle Fletcher now is 3-2 against Mark Briscoe. And I thought we were done with this feud, but it looks like it's going to continue because Mark Briscoe wants one more match, as we saw on Dynamite. But I don't know, man. Like this match just didn't do it for me. And I don't know. They had such good chemistry with the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand, and I just don't feel like these guys have it. I don't know. It's just, something was missing for me. And maybe it's just the lack of I don't care, and that's when I don't care about something, it's hard for me to be invested.
I think that's what it is. I give it a very, very basic thumbs up, just a B minus. Yeah. I thought it had fun spots. It was the thing is I don't like Briscoe as well, so maybe I was, and I haven't bought enough Fletcher yet, so maybe I was watching it with like a let me give it a chance and so I enjoyed it more because I was like I shouldn't just not like it. I kind of did what you did, and I do that, right? When I see two wrestlers, especially when there's 9 matches and you don't get a break, I got to stay focused, y'all. Sorry. I love wrestling, but I do it in football. I do it in everything I love. Movies. We're in that era now where I need to be on my phone. I'm checking my TikTok, so I glance away and I'm not focused. So I really try to stay focused on this match, and I thought it was fun. It was entertaining. It wasn't the best match ever. The right man won, but I think you're right. We don't need Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher 6. So let's get away with that now. We got to stop.
Yeah. Got to move on. Nope.
All right. I'm surprised by my one on this match, but Chris Statlander defended her women's championship by defeating Toni Storm. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. I was surprised that Chris Statlander won clean. I thought somebody would cost Toni Storm the match. I thought that somebody would interfere and it would be a disqualification somehow, but Toni Storm lost clean. I thought the match was fun. I thought Chris Statlander looked good. I thought Tony Storm looked good. Tony Storm made Chris Statlander look even better. I thought this match had a lot of great build going into it. I think Tony Storm brought out the best of Chris Statlander, and I think this was one of my favorite Statlander matches that we've had in AEW so far. And I give Tony Storm a lot of credit for that. So I'm going to go very, very strong thumbs up. I really enjoyed this match.
Right on. All right. So we're back-to-back different. I actually give this match a thumbs down. I thought it was like a C average match. It didn't do it for, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to Tony Storm and Mariah May and Tony Storm and even her and Mercedes. They had a good match. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this wasn't it for me. I like Chris Statlander and I'm trying and I think what she did on Dynamite was pretty good and we'll talk about that. But this match, I don't know. It's just kind of, once again, just like the other women's match, it just felt kind of like a main event of Collision to me. It just didn't feel like it hit for a pay-per-view. And maybe that's AEW's fault because they do too much. And so when you do too much, you have a higher ceiling to meet. And maybe that was the issue. Or maybe it was the fact that Mercedes Moné came out right after this and gave us a surprise match, which she did an open challenge. And out came Mina Shikara, who wanted to put her women's TV title of ROH. She's the ROH interim women's TV title champion against the TBS champion, belt for belt. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Sorry, I messed all that up. Go ahead.
Oh, man. I'm going to go thumbs way down for this whole thing. First of all, Mina Shirakawa, like how many times is she going to return to AEW? Like I was expecting a surprise. I was expecting Athena. I was expecting somebody, and that's who they gave us. Like we've seen her time in and time out, and it just, I don't know, like she's somebody that I just don't care about. And then I also thought that at the beginning, I feel like they salvaged it at the end, but at the beginning it made Chris Statlander look super, super weak by being like, get out of my ring. And Chris Statlander was like, okay, I'll get out of the ring, but I'm watching you. And then she gets out of the ring and goes up the ramp, and then she comes out at the end and confronts Mercedes Moné. So I thought that kind of rebounded from that a little bit instead of making her look all the way weak. But just thumbs down, man. I'm just Mercedes has 12 belts now. One of them is the Owen Hart Invitational Championship, so she can't defend it. This is an interim title. So what happens when the other champion comes back, or is she the interim? Like, what's going to happen there? Like, is she going to have to? Are they going to unify the titles? Like, I don't know. Like some of these belts she can't even defend, and it's just like they're hyping them up for no reason. That would be like Stephanie Vaquer coming out on Monday Night Raw with the Crown Jewel Championship and being like, "I'm a double champ. I got 2 belts. I'm going to defend it regularly," and she never does. Like that's stupid. And that's how I feel about some of these titles that Mercedes has, especially this interim women's television title. Like that, I don't know. I feel like they're just giving her belts now for the sake of giving her belts.
They really, really are. And this is thumbs down for me. I poor Mina, right? Mina Shirakawa is like literally the resident jobber for title matches in the women's division. And I didn't know we could have one. You know, we have Drew McIntyre over in WWE, who's the resident champion jobber. But like Mina, it's just like Tony Storm, her, Mariah May. She always comes out. Now she's wrestling for the TBS. And it just was like, who needed this? You had 8 matches. That was perfect. Why make another match no one gives a shit about? And no one gave a shit. And then, like you said, Statlander looked like a punk and just walked out. She did come back out and stare afterwards, but a little too late for me. Too little, too late. Thumbs down for sure. For sure. Maybe they were just trying to get us ready for the next match.
Yeah, that's probably what they was. Which this match was a banger.
Which was Bro Dito defending their tag team championships against one Teesha and Okada, the Don Callis family. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I think you already said it was a banger.
Yeah, thumbs way up for this. This was fantastic through and through. The best tag team match of the night for sure. Everything about this match was great. Okada took a pin. He got pinned by Bandito, the first time he's ever been pinned in AEW. It built the tension between Okada and Teesha beautifully. Brodito, for a team that was randomly thrown together, really seems to have really strong chemistry with each other, and they really seem to mesh well with the crowd. The crowd seems into them, and they dig them. Everything about this match was fantastic from start to finish. This was probably my match of the night for sure, but this was a fantastic tag team match, and Okada is him. And shout out to Bandito for getting the first pinfall. I wish AEW would have made that a little bit of a bigger deal than they did.
Yeah, AEW usually has long matches, and I don't dig them. This was 27 minutes and a half, 27 and a half minutes. I mean, that's a long-ass match, but way thumbs up. Match of the night. When you could do it and do it right, this was jam-packed action. Props to Brodito for bringing it against two of the best in AEW and Okada and Teesha. I actually think Okada is the best if you don't count Jon Moxley. I think it's Mox and Okada. I've been saying that for years. Those are the two top guys. MJF don't wrestle enough. Hangman's a close third by Swerve after that. But these are like the big leagues, right, of these men. And I loved every inch of it. I loved all the spots, everything. And I think my favorite spot was Okada doing the clothesline on Teesha and then laughing after, like smiling afterwards. It looked like an accident, but Okada could give two shits. He was like, dude, I'll lose these tag team titles. What does it mean to me if I can clothesline you? And we'll get into that on Dynamite. But I thought it was great stuff. Match of the night, thumbs up. I'll watch these four wrestle all day, every day, although they'll probably never wrestle again, but all day, every day.
Yeah, no, it was a good showing. I loved all of it, and shout out to all four men for a fantastic match.
I agree. All right, Hangman Adam Page defends his AEW World Championships by defeating Samoa Joe. At the end, Samoa Joe turns on Hangman Page, and the Ops do the beatdown. What say you? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh man, very, very fringe thumbs down for this. This was, the match was fine. It was the heel turn and stuff at the end that I was just like, I thought they were already heels. I didn't realize that they were turning heels.
Yeah.
Especially in like this feud, because where Hangman Page is such a beloved babyface. So Samoa Joe was kind of playing that heel character already. So I didn't really take it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal that they turned heel with Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata and all that. But yeah, the match itself was fine. It was fun. It wasn't the best match I've seen. It wasn't the worst match, but very, very fringe thumbs up. I'm gonna give it like a 79 out of
So
100.
thumbs down or thumbs up? Is it fringe up or fringe down?
Fringe down.
Down. That's what You said up. Okay. You said down, then up, then down. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You're having sex. All right.
Yeah. No,
right.
fringe, very, very fringe thumbs down. Thumbs down.
All right.
Sure.
And I'm the other way. Very, very fringe thumbs up. Barely. I get why, because I think if this wasn't a title match, it would be a better match. This was a title match. It didn't feel as good as it should have been. I mean, the fact that Hangman Page needing 3 buckshot lariats to put him away, like 3. Like, I don't know. We're getting crazy with these finishers, but you know how I feel about making finishers great again.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, we really, really, really need to, or make them feel important again. But nonetheless, I didn't mind the Samoa Joe turn at the end, only because he needs an edge. Samoa Joe isn't a good guy, and whether he's bad or good, it's nice to now establish him as a bad guy, and we'll get into that on our Dynamite edition. But yeah, I give it a very, very fringe thumbs up. I expect better from them, and as we get into it, I think their rematch will be better. So yeah. Hangman Page, good, All right, main event time. This is going to be all over the place with all fans. Darby Allin defeats Jon Moxley in an I Quit match. He really made him. He quit during a sharpshooter, by the way, on a bed of broken fish tank glass. You heard me. They got a kid's aquarium and broke it. And fish tank, we got a Sting appearance. What say you? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna go thumbs way down for this match.
Nice.
Yeah, this match just didn't do it for me. I thought the aquarium spot was way too much. Attempting to drown somebody in the middle of the ring was, I wasn't all like offended by it by a lot of people. It was just more like cheesy than anything. I'm like, oh my god, this is what we're doing. Like, this is how it's going to be just attempted murder after attempted murder after attempted murder on each other. Like that, this is stupid. And then the ending left a lot to be desired. With he taps out to he quits to a sharpshooter, and it was just like for the Scorpion death drop. Yeah, instantly. And
Scorpion deathlock. Yeah.
But it was just the whole match just seemed off. Like, the referee never had a microphone to give to the wrestler or to put up to the wrestler's mouth to say, like, so we could hear the words "I quit." So we're just going off of what the referee says. Jon Moxley was like, the way he quit was just like, "I quit." Like, you could barely hear him. It was just very, like, all of it, everything just seemed off. And then the aquarium spot was bad, and then some of the other spots that were just over the top. And then the Sting appearance, when Sting came out, I was excited because I called for a Sting appearance. I thought, I was like, okay, this is how they're gonna make Darby Allin quit. This is how they're gonna attack Sting, and they're gonna put Sting through a shard of glass, or they're gonna push Sting through a table, or they're gonna do something to really, like, annihilate Sting, and it's gonna force Darby Allin to quit. And they went the other way, and where Sting just, he got all the offense in on all the Death Riders. He took them all out with the baseball bat, like, 3-on-1, 1-on-3. Then he tosses the baseball bat to Darby Allin. He hits Jon Moxley with it, and then he locks in the Scorpion Death Drop, and Jon Moxley taps or quits instantly. It was just left a lot to be desired. Very, very strong thumbs down, in my opinion. This match just did not do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, they had me for a little bit. I thought it was fun. Sting appearing was fun, even though he looked like Santa Claus. It just, everyone was like, I love those gray on gray. I thought he looked atrocious, and with white makeup, it just looked like he was just like white all the way. He kind of looked like Art the Clown. It was a very weird.
Yeah, he had like
look.
the black right here in the middle.
It was, I don't know. He looked like an old man. But the ending, I have to give a thumbs down. So I do give it a thumbs down because of this ending. I try to drown. For one, you can't make somebody quit if you drown them. And I like that the announcer was like, blah, blah, blah. Do you quit? Do you quit? Like, what was he supposed to do? Like, like, what was he like? So people gonna, like, what was he gonna, like? I was so confused on what they were doing. And then the fact that Sting was like, break the glass. That'll teach him. So you can sharpshooter him, or Scorpion Deathlock him on the glass. No one got that. Even the announcers were confused.
Yeah, I didn't get that at
nobody noticed. They were like, why did he just quit instantly? Oh, it's because he was on the shards of glass. I remember watching Moxley, I'm pretty sure it was on an episode of Dynamite, have a edge thing stuck in his back where they tried to pull it out, and his skin literally was going with it, that they had to have the ref like pull the thing out of his back because it was, nails were literally inside of his spine. But this dude tapped out due to broken glass from a fish tank.
Yeah,
like we gotta do better. Yeah. We gotta do better than that, dude. We gotta, like, this is what I mean with AEW. You can't go to the extreme nonstop and then do an I quit match thinking like Jon Moxley's gonna quit. Like, it was stupid. And then we're not gonna talk about it, but the next night on Dynamite, he like cheated so he wouldn't quit again. So now are we getting like Jon Moxley the quitter? Like, Kyle O'Reilly couldn't make me submit. Like, he almost made Jon Moxley submit. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I didn't mind that so much. I thought that was because, it's like, it's in his head now, like, that he can't. And he even, like, he did a promo before, and he was like, I can't believe I quit. Like, he felt very, like, down on himself for quitting. And then the Kyle O'Reilly thing was like, he's going to do it again. He's going to tap out. And so instead of tapping out,
Kyle O'Reilly.
No, that I agree. Yeah. But I think it was more the psychological piece of it. Like, the match really affected him. So I didn't mind it so much with that. But yeah, this match itself was just not my cup of tea.
No. Yeah, mine either. But good show nonetheless. I had way more ups than I did downs. I enjoyed WrestleDream. This was like a normal pay-per-view, right? It wasn't one that they had to bring it all. And I think they did a really, kind of remind me of Crown Jewel, right? Where it was like, I don't really care, but it was a good show. That's how WrestleDream was. I think I got every single match right. So, I mean, it was a very predictable show, but it was still good. It was entertaining. So I enjoyed it. All right, let's get into Dynamite, because Dynamite had a lot of stuff going on. And let's open up with Samoa Joe, who explains why he turned. Number one, I thought it was hilarious that he called out all the fatties in San Antonio, like all the fat women. Nothing like a fat man calling out fat people. I appreciate that. But basically, I mean, why did he turn on Hangman Page? Because he's not that man, right? Samoa Joe's that guy. It ain't about that cowboy shit. You know what I mean? You slack jawed cowboys, he will smack you and make you this bitch or whatever else. And then he bitched out. I liked it. I thought it was fun, right? You don't always need an explanation. Sometimes you can just want to beat somebody up because you think they're a bitch. And that's basically what Samoa Joe said about Hangman Page. He's not done with them yet. Obviously, we're obviously going to get another one, but I like the explanation, just like I didn't mind the one by Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins either. Seth wasn't there, but you know what I mean? It was, but he gave an explanation of his shoulder was hurt, so we moved on, you know? Samoa Joe thinks he's a bitch, so hey, you ain't about that cowboy life. I'm going to show you that you're not, so I beat your ass. I like it. We don't always need everything, right? We don't need theatrics.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't mind this promo, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good explanation. The one thing I didn't like was they showed a clip of Hangman Page in the trainer's room doing an interview, and he was like, "The next time I see you, we're gonna fight on site. Like it's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna take you out." Well, there he was, right there at the beginning of Dynamite.
Yes,
in the ring, and you're nowhere to be found. So I thought that kind of, I was like, this is kind of weak here, but other than that, I mean, it was fine. The one thing I didn't like that AEW did was they put the Ops against the Hurt Syndicate as the match to open the show with the Trios Championships. And yeah, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. It was fantastic. But the Hurt Syndicate of all teams, like taking another loss when they just lost at WrestleDream. And yeah, again, it was because of the demand, Ricochet and his group coming out, causing a distraction, making MVP tap out to the Coquina Clutch by Samoa Joe. Yeah, it was a good story and a good match. But I don't know. I feel like you're trying to build up the Hurt Syndicate at the same time. Like, why'd you even put them in this situation to where they were going up against the Trios champions at the moment? So that was the only thing I didn't like. But other than I thought the explanation was good. I thought the Samoa Joe's promo was good, and I'm excited for heel Samoa Joe.
So am I. I think it should be good, and I'm kind of excited for heel Ops, like heel, like Hobbs, and so on and so on. I mean, I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm curious to see how they'll do with Shibata, because he's the one with the phone, and he his gimmick is so funny that when he does like those interviews, he's got the phone and like he's doing like the Siri voice recorder. So I'm wondering if they'll still do that or if he just won't say anything.
I'm sure Siri can say some bad things too. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. All right. So something I'm excited about too is that AEW announced they're having their women's tag team championships. They had a match to decide who you can pick, who you want to wrestle, and so on and so on. But they announced the brackets. I want to break them down, and I want to see what you think about them and who maybe is your early prediction of who's going to win. So on one side, we got Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue. We got Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron versus the newly formed, which we'll talk about later. I guess I should have talked about this first. Actually, let's stop. Let's go into Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné. Sorry, I forgot about that. Let's go into that first. Then we'll fade into this. So Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné had their thing. You know, they're going back and forth. Mercedes Moné had a whole thing where she drove in a car with 11 guys who all held, or 10 guys who held their belts on each side of the ring as she walked in. You couldn't just introduce or understand what any of those belts are. I guarantee you, unless you're a fake fan who pretends like they watch everything, like these AEW hardcores who think they can name all the belts and know that she defended a CMLL one like 3 weeks ago. Blah. No, you did. You Google it and you read it. You ain't watching this shit. But anyway, she comes down. She does a whole thing. Chris Statlander gets in her face. They do a thing later too where there's a puppet. Oh, no, that's it. With the puppet, and it's Harley Cameron doing the puppet. She doesn't like the puppet. She slapped Chris Statlander, shoves her face into the cake, lays her out through the table. Really, really good stuff. Later on, then Mercedes Moné and Athena meet. And Athena's like, yo, you don't just need the women's championship. Let's win this women's tag team championship too, because you're the hottest female. I'm the other hottest female. We never lose. Let's get together, make the ultimate tag team. So what say you? Chris Statlander, Mercedes, and Athena. Are we getting 2 more belts on Mercedes Moné? I mean, she'll probably count Athena's belt too. But what say you? What'd you think about it all? You excited? Do you like this? And then we'll get into the tag team bracket.
Yeah. No, I thought the segment with Mercedes and Chris Statlander was really good. I know a lot of people are like, well, we don't like those sports entertainment type segments with the puppet and everything, but The puppet with Harley Cameron is one of the best things that AEW has. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
It's really funny. She's entertaining. She looks like she's having the time of her life out there. And then her doing the Mercedes stuff, and then the puppet gets thrown through the cake, and then Chris Statlander comes out and puts Mercedes through the cake. Like, I thought it was good. It made Chris Statlander look strong. There was one part where Chris Statlander put on Mercedes Moné's glasses and like gave Harley Cameron a high five, and I was like, damn, she looks just like Mercedes Moné right there. Like, I was like spot on, like identical to her. But yeah, I thought this made Chris Statlander look super strong, and that's what you need. You can't just have Mercedes coming out burying everybody and cutting promos where she's just, her promo was whack, by the way. Like, she was,
they always sounded
very incoherent. I think she tried to say the same thing like 3 or 4 different times. Like, you marks are being very disrespectful.
Sorry.
It was just like, what is going on right now? Like, this, she was trying to say the same thing, like just over and over and over. And it just didn't land. But I thought Chris Statlander brought it. I thought this was this was a great way to make her continue looking strong. And I thought the segment was fun. The Athena thing just seems randomly thrown together, but we'll get into that when we talk about the tag team championship.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. This is what I was talking about with Chris Statlander and Toni Storm. I didn't feel like Chris Statlander felt big time. Dynamite, she felt big time. She looked big time. She had an aura to her. And when she threw her through the table, like you said, she looked good. She looked good challenging her. She didn't look afraid. She felt like she was big time, and it looked like she could actually defeat Mercedes Moné. And that's what you need to do before she loses to Mercedes Moné, is that you need to make her feel like she could beat her and that people believe it. And they did that perfectly, and Statlander brought it. I thought she was better than Mercedes. Like I said, I love Mercedes Moné. I keep saying it. People think I hate her. I don't. I just don't think she's doing her good work with this character. I think it's just stupid. When you give someone a pointless character, because what's her character? She collects belts. That's not a character. You know what I mean? What is she, the collector from Guardians of the Galaxy? That's not something I buy into. So I don't dig it. And like I said, when 11 of your 12 belts are pointless, no one really cares. And winning an ROH TV title is not the big leagues. ROH is a minor league. It just doesn't feel like she's winning real championships. So nonetheless, but let's get into this women's tag team championship. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'll start again. Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I'm pretty sure they picked to wrestle them. I don't know why you would want any piece of those two women. Oh, I do, but you know what I mean. Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron versus Mercedes Moné and Athena. So they're getting that revenge. Alex Windsor and Riho versus Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, and Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Tay Mello and Anna Jay. What do you think about it? Do you like it? Who's going to win it?
I do like the brackets a little bit. Some of the women and some of the tag teams do feel randomly thrown together, like Mercedes Moné and Athena. I think really the only 2 established teams are Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and Julia Hart and Sky Blue, the Sisters of Sin.
Yes, I think so.
And maybe Ty Mello and Anna Jay. I think they've had a couple of tag team matches consistently, but the brackets are fine. I feel like they're kind of gift wrapped for Toni Storm and Mira Shirakawa to get to the finals against Mercedes Moné and Athena. And I don't know if we really need to see that again. We've already seen Mercedes in Mira. We've already seen Mercedes and Toni Storm. We've already seen Toni Storm and Athena. But I feel like this should be an opportunity to build a new tag team, a new star in the tag division, instead of using established teams and established stars. But I feel like this is another way to get more gold on the waist of Toni Storm. If you can't have the women's title on her, then you're going to put the women's tag team titles on her. So I do feel like Toni Storm and Mira Shirakawa it's their championships to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I like the brackets. Other than Mercedes, really, in this, at least all these other girls need something to do, right? It's not like they're running for solo champ. Toni Storm just lost it. She's not going out anymore, so she needs this. Athena's a ROH champion, so she can be added in this. I feel like that. But other than that, I mean, who should win? Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford or Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
Yeah,
Actual
they should.
tag teams who are trying to
Absolutely.
get pushes. Who's going to win? Mercedes Moné and Athena. The only way Mercedes Moné and Athena lose if it's because Mercedes Moné is going to win the world championship and they're going to be like, we can't have you win them all. We got to make you look vulnerable. So we'll have you lose a tag team match. So you take an L and then you know what I mean. Or Athena takes it and you claim it's not yours or whatever. And then you go and win the women's championship. But I think this is Tony Khan. I don't know if Mercedes has full rights of her character or owes something, or if Tony Khan literally thinks this is a good idea. I think Mercedes is about to get 2 more titles. I don't see her losing. And I keep hearing everybody talk about, but bro, the downfall is going to be epic. If you think Mercedes Moné is going to lose 14 times in a row, you're out of your effing mind. There's no. What's going to happen is that when it's done, these belts are just going to disappear and be vacated. She's not going to lose. She's not going to go to all these low-end organizations and lose. Everybody's like, bro, she's making the women's division important. Oh, can you explain to me how? I thought so. Bro, she's making the other organizations filled seat arenas and making more money. Oh, cool. Can you show me the data on that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So stop making up shit. Stop just saying what Dave Meltzer says and you think it's
But
correct.
also like, let's stop with this narrative that it gives those indie companies notoriety on mainstream television. No, it doesn't. She doesn't even show the titles. She doesn't mention the names of the companies on television. You have to like blink, you have to like pause your screen and look at the titles to say, oh, okay, that's the Rev Pro title, and that's the House of Glory Championship, and that's the Ring of, like, she doesn't mention them. So to me, like, I don't know, like, your championship's on TV, but if they don't mention it, it doesn't matter.
I agree. I fully agree. All right, last thing on Dynamite before we move on, and that's Okada and Takeshita seems to be loading. Okada had a match. He defended it against a man who just pinned him the night before, 2 nights before, or 3 nights before, whatever, at the pay-per-view. He wins, and at the end, Takeshita comes out. They have a nice little stare down. The crews are kind of breaking them apart, and it looks like we're going to get Okada versus Takeshita. Title versus title. For those of you who don't know, Takeshita is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So, yes, please. Sign me up. Slap me with it. Dress me up. Let me watch this alone in bed. This is wrestling porn if I've ever seen it. Thing is that if they do wrestle, do they leave Don Callis, one of them? If they do wrestle, does Don Callis choose who he wants and one of them leaves? If they do wrestle, do we really get a loser? If Takeshita wins, hey, gets 2 belts. He deserves the push. The dude's amazing. And Okada can now go face the heavyweight championship and win that he so desperately deserves. Or Okada continues to win, stays the hottest damn wrestler in AEW, and has 2 titles. Double champ like Dom. Why not? What say you if you remembered all those things I asked you?
Yeah, no, there's really no wrong way that you can go from this. But I think this match is going to be the best match, probably the best build match that they've had in quite a while. The anticipation for it's going to be huge. It's going to have that big fight feel. Yeah, I think all of it's going to be good. And I do think that I think it's going to be more Don Callis chooses who he wants as opposed to one of them leaving the Don Callis family. I think Don Callis is going to draw a line in the sand, and I think he's going to choose Takeshita, and Okada's going to be on his own, making him, even more of the babyface guy. I think Takeshita needs it more than Okada does, because I think Okada's English is a little bit better than Takeshi's, so I think Don Callis can speak on his behalf. But yeah, to answer your question, I think that we don't really get a loser. I think this match is going to be fantastic no matter what, and no matter what happens, the opportunities are endless for both the winner and the loser. And then I think Don Callis is going to turn on one of them and make he's going to choose for us who goes babyface, who goes heel.
I think if Callis turns, he's picking Takeshita. I do too. Okada needs that. So I think if he is going to choose one and turn on at the end, I think it'll be Takeshita, because Okada as a babyface. Cha-cha-ching, cha-cha-ching.
Absolutely.
Cha-ching, cha-cha-ching. Yeah. So, and then he can go after Hangman or whoever wins Samoa Joe and so on. Yeah. For realsies. All right. That's our AEW week in review. Fantastic WrestleDream. Fantastic Dynamite. Now let's get into the highs and lows, baby. I know you got a song for this. I know you do. We haven't heard in a long time because all we do is predictions, baby.
I know.
But I know you got it. Let me know when you're ready.
Let's go. This is highs and lows. It's time for the list. Who's killing it and who should probably go and sit? You're the best getting listed up high as hell. It's for the lows. They can come up here and take a L. Yes, they got their fingers on the button, yeah. Never sweat the mid, just the best and who run it. I'ma let them chill, let them run through the list of names. This is highs and lows. Go ahead and do your thing.
And I still remembered it. It was still banging like always. All right, so highs and lows. Me and Ryan are going to eat each other 2 highs, 2 lows. Right? Is that how we do it? I forgot even how we do it.
Yeah. It's been a while. But yeah, 2. We start with
break down
the highs and go the lows. Yeah.
All right. So Ryan, what's your first high? Because I got high of the week. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going with I'm going to go something I've talked about before on this show, but I'm going to say it again. But the AEW tag team division right now, I think is at a all-time high in terms of just a resurgence, more so than anything. Because I remember at the beginning of the year, AEW's tag team division was essentially dormant. It was pretty much dead and destitute and desolate. It was just awful. I think Private Party was the tag team champions, and they had nobody to to fight for the titles. And then the Young Bucks took them off of them, and they had nobody to defend them against. And now you look at the tag team division, and you have Brodito, who's pretty entertaining. You have the Young Bucks. You have Cope and Cage. You have FTR. Jurassic Express just reunited. An AEW original, an AEW Day One tag team. Jet Speed is coming into their own. Then people love the Outrunners as well. I mean, they're a fun tag team to watch. The Patriarchy when they're healthy. The Guns when they're healthy. Big Bill and Brian Cage. You got Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and the Paragon doing their thing. The Death Riders whenever they want to compete in tag team action, whether it's Wheeler Yuta and Claudio or Daniel Garcia and Claudio or Daniel Garcia and Pac. They have a pretty strong tag group. And then, of course, the Acclaimed may or may not be getting back together, but they've been teaming up a lot more recently as well. So I'm really digging what AEW is doing with the tag team division. I think this is the best it's been in years. And I think all it took was bringing back Jurassic Express and bringing back Cope and Cage and reuniting them for it to really just feel alive again. And I think they're telling a lot of stories outside of the tag team division. The Young Bucks trying to get money, and again going up against Jurassic Express, and the Acclaim trying to get back together. And there's other stories. Cope and Cage against FTR. Whenever that happens, it's probably not. It hasn't been for the titles. So they're telling stories in the tag division, making that division feel important. And all of it. Not all of it has to do with the tag team championships, which is really hard to do because usually when you tell a story, it involves the titles. But I think AEW is doing a great job with the tag team division.
Well said. Well said. And I'm going to follow up a high with another high of tag team divisions. Mine's the women's tag team division. I actually like the brackets. I like the titles. And it breaks my heart that WWE has never done it right. And although AEW forgets most of their championships, I'm hoping, because they haven't ever really forgot the women's, I'm hoping the women's tag team division will go big. I mean, with the people we named, a lot of these women need that push. AEW's division is so damn talented with women. They needed a place. You can't have everybody be the champion, especially when Mercedes Moné is collecting them all. So it's hard to get in there and get a belt. So I like that they're going to do this for women like Megan Bayne, for women like Julia Hart, for, they deserve it. Hopefully they give it to one of them. But with that said, so far, so good. They look good. I love it. I like the bracket. Yeah, big high for me with the women's tag team titles.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. And I like the tag team championships too, the women's tag team division. And I hope they do it right. I really, really do. And Tony Khan has a tendency to forget that, he hardly defends the trios championships. He hardly defends the men's tag team titles. He'll defend the ROH tag team titles on a random episode of Collision. So I just don't want him to forget about the women's tag team championships.
Yeah, samesies. All right, what's your last high of the day?
Well, we'll stay on the women's side, and yes, I'm gonna say Chris Statlander. I think the way that her right now, her current booking is this is the strongest she's been booked in her entire AEW run, and I really like how they're booking her currently, and I hope it continues. And I I think I think the feud with Toni Storm, maybe going into it kind of felt meh, but I think it helped her get some confidence, and I think it helped instill some an aura to her and some swag to her. And I think she showed that on Wednesday in the beatdown of Mercedes Moné and putting her through the cake and everything. I think she looked really, really good. And I'm excited to see what she does. And I really, really hope that Tony Khan doesn't have her lose her Mercedes Moné. I really hope that she retains, because then her first 2 title defenses against Toni Storm, and then she beats Mercedes Moné. Like that's fantastic. That's an awesome reign. Best in AEW, and so it'll help solidify her as one of the best wrestlers in AEW's women's division. But I remember when she beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title a couple years ago. I didn't think that was the right decision at the time. It kind of felt out of the blue. And I look back at that Chris Statlander, and I look at this Chris Statlander, and it's just a massive improvement. She's gotten so much better, more confident, stronger, better on the microphone, and just believable overall. So she's put in a lot of work, from her heel turn to her stuff with Willow to the stuff with Stokely Hathaway to everything she's been doing now. I'm really excited to see what they do with her as women's champion, and I really hope that she beats Mercedes Moné, because I think it would really help solidify her championship.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And yes, when she did beat Jade, I thought it was a huge mistake, and it didn't really turn out that well anyway. But I was surprised they gave her the title shot this time, but she has improved. And yeah, good call, Chris Statlander for sure. My high is something I just talked about, but I got to say it again. Okada versus Takeshita. This has been fun. From Okada hanging up on him, from the clothesline and smiling, from the look across the, from the ring to the, for the ramp when they're staring at each other. Don Callis family, Don getting in there in between, not knowing what to do, but wanting them to bang it out, because that's what you do in the Don Callis family, right? Brothers fight. I just love it all. And it's funny because when Okada and Takeshita were signed, they were both rumored to go to WWE. They signed AEW because we're the best wrestle, yada, 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 although it was more money, and why not, right? You can go to Japan more and so on. But people talked about how they didn't bring anything, right? You paid them all this money. They haven't done shit for AEW. Ratings haven't gotten better. They're not those kind of superstars. They're not a Randy Orton or a CM Punk or whatever else, but I think they have done their own. Sure, they're not the needle movers that some WWE people, but that's apples and oranges. For AEW, they are moving the needle. They are being those guys. They are absolute bangers in the 2 top of the 5 in the all of AEW company. I love it. This match is going to be awesome. I've been loving the build, and I can't wait to see them finally go blow to blow. Title versus title, baby.
Yeah, no, that match is going to be off the chains, and I really hope they give it the proper build. I think it should main event. I think they should treat it like the big match that it is. So I'm excited for it. Whenever it happens, whether it's at Full Gear or World's End or Revolution next year, like whenever it happens, I'm going to be stoked for it.
Yeah, same Z's. All right, what's your first low of the week?
Oh man, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna go Tony Khan on television. Just get him off our screens.
Oh, I had that one.
like get him off of our screens. I'm sorry, like either get an authority figure, like somebody to run Dynamite and somebody to run Collision, or call him the commissioner or something, and let he or she make all the decisions. Why not have Renee Paquette in that role? Like Renee would thrive in that type of position. Where she makes matches. She's the one, because Tony Khan is just too awkward. He's too, like, for someone who runs a television show, he doesn't understand how it all works. This week on Dynamite, the Young Bucks are pounding on his door, and they're like, "Where is Tony? Where's Tony? Why isn't he answering? What's going on? Why isn't he answering? Where's Tony?" And they keep knocking on it. And then Renee's interviewing the Young Bucks, and they're like, "We want another money match." And then Tony Khan comes in, answers the door. He's like, "I heard everything that you said," just very awkwardly. "I heard everything that you said, and it looks like you want another money match with Jet Speed. So I'll tell you what, I'll put some money on the line, and you'll wrestle Jet Speed in a 4-way match or a 8-man tag match with Jet Speed and Jurassic Express against these 2 guys, and outwalk the FTR, who were in Tony Khan's office for some reason." And it was just a very awkward segment, very awkward moment. But Tony Khan is just cringe every time he's on television. You can tell he's not comfortable doing it. So I don't know why he agrees to be on TV. I don't know why he agrees to only being on TV at certain times. Like, why did he agree to this of all segments to be on TV for? So just get somebody else to run the show. Get Adam Cole. Let Adam Cole be an on-screen authority figure or something, and let him travel. Give him something to do until while he's getting healthy, and let him make matches. Let him, I don't know, or Renee Paquette, just somebody that's good on the microphone that's not cringe whenever they're on TV.
Yeah, I fully agree. I'm going to keep mine's the same low, so let's just use them both. Like, I'm not going to change mine because it was so bad. And you said it all on the cop. The best part was that he then left his office and walked away. He like walked off screen. He's like, so you'll be teaming with these guys. And then he just left like, okay. Also, if you were trying to discipline the Young Bucks and you want them to lose money matches, why are you going to pair them up with the most dominant tag team you have? Like, good luck, boys. You get these guys. FTR. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want them like
the Young Bucks were happy. They were like, cool. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You'd want like a jobber tag team to team up
Yes.
with them or something. Yeah.
If you're going to do this gimmick, do it right. Like, don't put them up with FTR. Like, that seems like a win to me. I don't know. I thought it was bad, but you're right. Tony Khan, you're no Triple H was an entertainer. I hate Triple H on the screen all the time too, but he at least did it. Like, he knows how to. Tony Khan, stop. You're awful. Stop doing it. Don't be that person. If you want to try to be like Vince McMahon in the early days and be on the, or Eric Bischoff and do, ring announcing and such, or be on the booth or whatever commentary, I'm for it. But like, stay off.
I think that would help
on screen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But an on screen, no, they need a commissioner. They need like the Triple H and Shawn Michaels aren't doing it all. They have Ava, Nick Aldis. You know what I mean? We need that type of thing for Nick Khan. He needs to Tony Khan. Sorry. He needs to stop. It's bad. It's bad.
I just don't get why he agrees to be on TV for certain things. Like, I'm like, why that segment of all segments?
Because he's a fan, and these are his toys, and he wants to be a part of it. He can do it. He's the billionaire, right? All right. Well, we had the same first low. So what's your last low? Low.
I'm going with the Don
Callis
family.
Again? Oh, nope. All right. There you go.
Yeah, I'm going Don Callis family. There's just way too many people. It's hard to keep interested. It's hard to stay invested. I really like Okada. I really like Teesha. I really like Kyle Fletcher, but they keep adding people to the group, and it's hard to keep up with who's who. For example, on Dynamite this week, I had no idea that Trent Beretta was even in the Don Callis family. Like, I
forgot.
What is he doing out there? And I forgot that Lance Archer's out there, and Brian Cage is in the group, and there's so many other people. The Mark. What's the other half of Aussie Open? Mark Davis, I think is his name.
Yeah, Mark Davis. The fake hologram is in it, right? Isn't there a fake hologram in it or no?
The fake, the fake holograms. There's too many, but there's too many people. Really, way too many people in this group, and I'm to a point where I'm no longer invested, and I really don't care. And we talk all the time about in wrestling about how less is more, and I think right now Don Callis has way too many people to really care about, to be focused on. I think it's hurting some of the people. Like, I think Josh Alexander could be a star in AEW, but he's being held back by the Don Callis family. Whenever Andrade figures out which company he's going to work for, because now apparently the WWE is going to use this as an opportunity to bring him back to the company while he serves out his non-compete. So, but he was in the Don Callis family before he left. But and he was going to feud with Kenny Omega, but like, that's another. Wardlow was in the group. It's just way too many damn people. But I think like Josh Alexander could be a huge star if he wasn't with the Don Callis family. And then Don Callis should really be focusing on Teesha, Kyle Fletcher, and Okada. Those should be his three primary toys that he plays with pretty regularly. And, instead of focusing on a random match on Collision with Mark Davis and Lance Archer against the Max Caster and Anthony, but like, nobody cares. I'm sorry. Like, we don't care about that. And it's just, he's on every segment on Collision. He's on almost every segment on Dynamite. Dynamite feels like it's the Death Riders and the Don Callis family. That's all it is. And I feel like AEW just is kind of hurting when it comes to that. So less is more. No more. Let's stop adding people to the Don Callis family.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. Well. They're the NWO, baby, too sweet when the NWO
not
got
even the good,
bad.
Not even the good
when
NWO.
It got bad. Yeah, it's stupid. My low is actually my last one is the Young Bucks poor gimmick. I don't get it. We talked about this off record before we recorded one week or yesterday, but I don't get it. We're supposed to believe that the Young Bucks stopped being EVPs, so they lost all their money. They have no money now. They didn't have any savings. They didn't make enough money. They don't continue to get money from it beforehand or any type of stocks or bank accounts, nothing, because one of them has a gambling problem. They won money. He gambled it all away. Do they not make money? I get that the EVPs made more money, but they're free. They're 100%. If they're not the EVPs, now they're just contracted employees who make $0 a week. They don't make any money, so they're that poor. They can't do anything. And now they're wrestling in a match for $400,000. Isn't that, there's 4 of them. So doesn't that, they each get $100,000. So now they're going to get $200,000. That's going to help them for how long? They don't. I just feel like it's just an unrealistic gimmick. Like we were talking about when Baron Corbin did it, it was instead of Happy Corbin, he was like Poor Corbin or whatever it was. It was supposed to be he wasn't like a wrestler anymore. He was poor. He was like in the back begging for money and change because he literally didn't have a job anymore. He was like Dunzo and he needed it. His hair was growing out even though he was balding. He looked awful. His beard, he like looked homeless. The Young Bucks look like the same people who are jiving and jiving. They don't. I don't get this gimmick. It needs to stop. It's stupid. And like I said, you want them to lose money, so you put them up against your best tag team. Make it make sense, Tony Khan. We need to get rid of this gimmick. It was fun at first. It's run its course. Things run their course. This is something that has ran its course.
Yeah, and it just felt like they transitioned into this all of a sudden too, because originally it was just they were the down and out EVPs where the name graphic was messed up, and they got their old jobber entrance theme, and they got their old their
was
intros.
Cool.
Yeah, all that stuff was funny and it was entertaining and really good stuff. And like they would hand Justin Roberts things to say and he would like read it verbatim, including the punctuation mark. It was all funny stuff. Then it transitioned into this poor man gimmick, and I don't get what they're doing with it. I don't get where it's going. I have no idea what all this is happening, what's happening here. But stop. Also, you're trying to punish the Young Bucks who attacked you. Like we forget that Jack Perry attacked Tony Khan. So why would he want to give Jack Perry any money for attacking?
Because he's a good guy now.
Yeah, but now you want to give the Young Bucks money when they also were the ones that helped attack you, and they're the ones that kept Kenny Omega on TV for so long. But you're going to help them out by putting money on the whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. It's baffling how little sense it makes.
Yeah, it's a stupid storyline. The end. It really, really is. Anyway, all right. Well, that was our highs and lows for the week of AEW. And now we're going to get into some more highs and lows in a way. We're doing our weekly segment, which is our LVD MVD of the week, which is our least valuable and most valuable dude for this week of AEW. Doesn't mean we hate or love you. It means that you're the worst booked or the best booked for this week. Ryan, who is your LVD of the week? Let's see if we go 100% on this. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. My LVD of the week is Mercedes Moné. I think it's like she's just not landing for me. Her segment on WrestleDream just didn't hit, with Mina Shirakawa being the surprise. It doesn't matter to me that she has 12 belts. I don't want her I don't want her on my screen, period. But I also don't want her to win the women's title in the tag team championships, and it looks like she's doing that. I don't want her going for both titles. Her promo this week was just very, very whack and bad. I feel like Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron saved it. If they weren't out there, that segment would have been a complete and utter disaster. So I don't think Mercedes did herself any favors at all. I'm not invested in her. I don't care. When she loses these titles, I'm not going to care. I don't care about the downfall because I don't care about the rise to the top either. So I just don't care about any of it. And I like Mercedes Moné. I think she's a great wrestler. I think, but like you said before, this character just isn't landing, and it continues week in and week out.
Yeah, well said. Well said. She is. I mean, if I picked her, I'd have to pick her every single week because she hasn't been good since WWE. My LVD is going to a different person. It's going to one Jon Moxley. The man fought Darby Allin, quit due to a broken fish tank and a scorpion deathlock. That was a joke. Followed that up with wrestling Kyle O'Reilly and about to lose to an ankle lock, if I remember correctly, but then had to hit the referee to get out of it because he just couldn't take the pressure. Like I said, this guy has been buried, had the casket burned on fire, spikes got into him, tacks everywhere, his earlobe ripped open, everything else. But you better watch out when that ankle lock gets in. He has no chance of surviving. They are booking him like a joke. And I know you said you dug it because of the thing they're doing, but nonetheless, he still looked weak as fuck. My LVD is on Jon Moxley. And it hurts me to say because he's the best guy in AEW, but dude, we are not doing this right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a good pick. He did not have a good week, but I'm looking at the thing from the long-term perspective that I think this is the way the Death Riders are going to get Jon Moxley out. I think he's going to show that he's the weak link of the group.
Yeah.
He can't close the deal. He can't win the big matches. He lost the championship. He quit to Darby. He almost tapped to Kyle O'Reilly. That he's not the guy that they all thought he was. So I think they're going to use this as a way to turn on him. I think that's what's coming, and then he's going to finally take that long break that he deserves. So, but yeah, you're right. For the week, it was bad, and
it was.
He should be nowhere near almost tapping out to Kyle O'Reilly.
No, and Daniel Garcia will probably take over the Death Riders. So have fun with that. All right,
yeah.
Let's end on a positive. Who's your LVD of the week?
You mean MVD?
MVD,
yeah,
sorry, MVD of the week. Thank you. That's why it's a positive. Duh.
That's right. Go. Yeah, no worries. I'm probably going to surprise you with this one, but I'm actually going to pick Bandito. I think Bandito had a fantastic week in AEW. I think him and Brody King and their tag team match against Okada and Teesha at WrestleDream was match of the night. But not only that, but he's the first one to pin Okada on AEW television 1, 2, 3, and he pinned him as clean as you can. There were still some shenanigans and stuff, but he did pin him clean. I like that. I think that's a huge deal. Okada's never been beaten in AEW, and Bandito is the one that beat him. Now, yes, they did follow it up with another fantastic main event between Bandito and Okada on the main event of Dynamite, which Bandito almost won. Had a lot of near falls. He had a banger of a match against him. Probably should have won, but obviously everything that happened, and Okada got the win there in the end. But I thought it was a really good week for Bandito. I think pinning Okada is a huge deal, and I wish AEW would have made it a bigger deal than what they did. I feel like they treated Mercedes Moné winning her 12th meaningless championship as a huge deal, when I feel like Okada getting pinned for the first time was an even bigger deal, and they didn't even mention it hardly ever at all. So I give the MVD to Bandito.
I mean, well said. He was match of the night back-to-back, with Dynamite and on WrestleDream, even though he lost one of them. Good pick. First guy to pin Okada. I like it. I'm going my MVD, Darby Allin. I think he deserves it. He finally got that huge win that he so desperately needed. He finally got revenge on Jon Moxley, even though he got help from Sting beating up the Death Riders and accidentally breaking the fish tank. Nonetheless, not only did he win, he made him tap out. Then he came out again and punked him on Dynamite. I mean, Darby Allin's on a roll. He looks to be being built up to be the first man or the man to beat Hangman Page to be the AEW World Champion. Finally, they're doing it. They're doing it right. I predicted this months and months and months ago. I think they're going to follow through with it. But yeah, Darby Allin, man, making the best ever in AEW tap out is not an easy feat, and he did that. So I got to give him the edge and give him the MVD of the week. I almost said LVD again. I'm so caught up in this L.
Yeah, no worries. But no, yeah, that's a good pick too. And he was my runner-up. I'm bored. I'm already bored with Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. I don't want to see it again. But yeah, we're getting it again, probably at Blood and Guts, and I don't really care to see that either. So, but maybe that's when the Death Riders turn on Jon Moxley. Yeah. That's when Jon Moxley gets written off, and then this feud ends and once and for all. But yeah, Darby Allin. He also had a really good promo where he was talking about how he's willing to die for AEW and everything on Dynamite as well. Which it was a good promo. Good promo. So good week for Darby.
It was. All right. That's it. That's our week of AEW for Two Dudes with Attitudes. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, tell your friends. We got to get this algorithm going. We want to keep doing this for a very, very long time, but we got to get bigger, get some sponsors. So help some brothers out. If you just want to check me out, you can hear me at my_wrestling_opinion on all your social media outlets. And with me, as always, is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling on all your social media platforms. Go follow me there. Go follow us on YouTube at Two Dudes with Attitudes. We are live here tonight. We're on Twitch at 2dudes_with-attitude. So go follow us there if you haven't done so. We're on Instagram at 2Dudes with Attitudes Podcast, and we're on TikTok at 2Dudes with Attitude. So go follow us all over there. We got some content coming, so just be on the lookout and be on the watch, because it's going to be good stuff and it's going to help us grow. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify and all the audio podcasts, we appreciate all the love and support. We're in the top 10% of all listened to wrestling podcasts. So help us climb up the ranks, help us get to the top 5% and the top 1%. And your way to do that is to leave us 5-star ratings and reviews and by telling everybody about your favorite two dudes on the internet. So share the love, help us grow, and we appreciate everyone's love and support.
Two Dudes Wolfpack, we out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the